I 39M resent my 38F stay-at-home wife. My wife has been a stay-at-home mom for the past 14 years. She went back to work last year 2022. At the beginning of this year 2023 she decided to reduce her hours and I said fine, do whatever you need to do. Well, she reduced her hours to 0. Last I checked, 0 hours meant that you quit your job, but what do I know? She tells me she has a job. At the same time, my wife decided to diagnose herself with depression. Not depression but depression. She refuses to even say it right. She also decides to completely stop driving due to her anxiety. So to say I was blindsided was an understatement. We did the couples counseling for a few years prior to COVID and things were good. Now when I say you might want to get back into therapy, she made it clear it doesn't work. And that I need therapy since I'm an asshole. In the middle of all this she made it clear that I didn't do anything at home and that I need to step up at home. Well, I was working from home, but since COVID is now over I am back in the office and out of the house 10-12 hours a day. I find it hard to do laundry or take the kids to school from my desk. I also do not have the privilege of getting the kids on the bus at 8 a.m. and be home to get them off the bus at 3. I made it clear I can support the morning but not the afternoon, and I found out she wants me home. Both sides now. So yeah, my wife has anxiety stopping her from driving. She has depression she refuses to get help for. She has a job that she now works 0 hours a week, and somehow I need to do more work at home to make her happy. I really tried to talk to her about this, but she just chooses to change the subject to how her job is harder than yours and men don't do enough for her around the house. I even got forced to do all the food shopping since she won't leave the house. So I go to Walmart twice a week and it is 5 minutes from the house. I drive the kids to all the programs she signed them up for, and I cook dinner 4 nights a week. I feel taken advantage of by someone who doesn't understand that doing laundry twice a week isn't a $30K a year job. Yes, she puts the kids on the bus, but now that she reduced her hours to 0 I get told she has a job and takes care of the house and kids on her own. So can I forcibly get her to get a different job? This entire I can't drive with anxiety but help does not help is driving me mad. Honestly, I'm ready to make my job 0 hours since work keeps getting in the way of everything I need to do at the house. Unfortunately, my kids like food and my wife loves the internet, so if I quit the merry-go-round stops. You can't make her do anything. You do have choices, however. You can choose to stay and deal with this, or you can choose to end the marriage. Part of our job as parents is to demonstrate healthy relationships for our kids to model. Even if you're not openly arguing in front of your kids, they pick up on tension. And being around that kind of conflict can increase their odds of developing anxiety disorders and other mental health issues. Obviously, your wife needs mental health support. If she were actively trying to work on that, it would be one thing. But she is refusing to address it with a professional. It's not uncommon for women at her age to begin to experience the effects of perimenopause, which can kick off or exacerbate anxiety and depression due to hormonal imbalances. She really should discuss with her doctor. But if she refuses, then again, it's up to you to decide if you want to stay or go. In sickness and in health, no longer applies if someone refuses to pursue treatment. IMHO, of course. I'm sorry, but the depression part made me lol. Yes, you can force her to get a job by making her single again. Alternative solution. Op. Tell her why you feel this way and that you can no longer sustain a non-working spouse. That she must either change paths or lose you as a partner. Sounds like she's read and internalized some dumb stuff online. I would say that having a mental illness where you can't do anything but refusing to even get it Diagnosed as grounds for divorce. I know a word similar to depression. It's divorce. Save yourself and your children the struggle of growing up with someone like her. She actually sounds like she has agoraphobia. She needs to go see a professional and get a treatment plan in place. No, you can't force her to get a job, but you can ultimatum her into getting professional help. It sounds like this is a two-card situation. You present her with a business card for a therapist and a business card for an attorney, and you tell her to pick. And if she doesn't, then a divorce it is. But you're not obligated to be held hostage to somebody's untreated mental illness. Get rid of cable and the internet. Cancel her mobile phone service. Tell her to move out and you're getting divorced. A lot of people have depression and anxiety, but yet still drive and go to work. It sounds like she's lazy and is taking advantage of you. If she won't get help for her issues, then it's time for you to go. Either that or just stop paying for things for her. You have to decide what she actually brings to the relationship, both as a mother and a wife. If it's not enough, then make changes. Sounds like it would be easier on you to be a single dad. Were you taking on your share of household and parenting duties when she was working? Is it possible she found it hard to juggle, say, 90% of that on top of working? Depending on what country you live in, she may be on a sick leave. How long did she stay at home by now? She doesn't sound in a very sound state of mind. Does she? You don't want this for the rest of your life. You are enabling at this point just because you haven't left her. Divorce for your kids. You don't want them thinking that this is what marriage looks like. Hopefully she'll get help because she'll have to after the divorce. Either way, it's time. Go see the divorce attorneys, pick one and watch your quality of life improve. Congratulations, you married a useless wife. This is as good as it's probably going to get because you've allowed her to be this lazy and you picked poorly. The consequence for that means you've got to accept it or tear the family apart. My wife has been a stay-at-home mom for the past 14 years. Resentment can take time to build. But this is ridiculous. At some point before you got married, or at least during the last 14 years. I assume you discussed the issue of finances. At the beginning of this year 2023, she decided to reduce her hours and I said, fine, do whatever you need to do. This reinforces that you are passive when it comes to decision-making about her job situation. But then want to punish her for it after the fact. You can divorce her. You will probably pay a significant amount in alimony and child support if she gets custody of the children, and you will be bitter that you have to work to pay off those court-enforced debts. But, on some level, you need to start being accountable for your consenting to this setup and, even in the end, agreeing to more changes. Despite already being uncomfortable with the setup, you were not taken advantage of. You just never expressed yourself properly when it was time to do so, and then you entered into a marriage where this was the dynamic. File for divorce. It sounds like you need to have some boundaries. Decide what's affordable and what is not, and include time in this calculation. If that means sandwiches for dinner on weeknights and no extracurricular kid stuff, but you regain your free time, then that is amazing. Go for walks. Explore the parks. Explain to your family that everyone has to make themselves a priority, and that includes you. Invite them to whatever you're doing with your new free time.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.